Aryna, it's lovely to see you. Welcome back. How does it feel to be back, and how have preparations gone?
Yeah, I'm super happy to be back. Super excited to play this tournament one more time, and I'm also happy that I had like some extra time in between. I had a few days off, and then I had great preparation for a couple of weeks before coming here, and I really hope that this is the year I can reach my goal, you know?
Was that a conscious plan? Because last year you played the full Asian swing, but this year just the one tournament.
Yeah, I didn't really feel great playing the whole Asian swing last year, and I felt like it was too early, and I was kind of like playing Wuhan. I was so exhausted, and even though I won it, but like I felt like I cannot play, I cannot push myself, wasn't hungry at all. I was like really forcing myself, and it's just not healthy. And then I got here, I was completely exhausted, and I didn't really know how to handle it anymore, and I was super happy to finish the season. So this year we were quite thoughtful about like picking the tournaments, and we decided not to rush it, and we decided to skip Beijing and to go to play a couple of matches and hopefully win, but didn't win the Wuhan, but still played a couple of matches. Was great timing wise before coming to Riyadh, and the main focus was Riyadh.
Because you talked about this being one of your goals. There are 3 major trophies that you haven't quite got to just yet. But in terms of this year, you've been number 1 all year, another 4 titles, the US Open amongst those. But there's been some tough times. So what are you taking? They say you learn more in defeat than victory.
Yeah.
So what have you taken from this year?
You know, looking back, I'm super happy with the way my season went. Of course, there was finals that I would love to improve on, and I would love to get trophy, and I felt like I had some chances there, but just didn't play my best, and also my opponents played incredible matches. So, but also looking back, I think like it was sort of like much needed to learn those lessons to come back much stronger, smarter, and in better control at the US Open. And yeah, looking back, I'm happy with the season. I think it's definitely one of the best seasons, and I just hope that next year I will improve a little bit in each of the tournaments that I play.
And it sounds like you talked about the scheduling ahead of coming here. You've taken more time off, like blocks of time off. Again, was that planned, or was it was really tough to feed, I'm going to step away, or were you always going to have that time just to yourself, really?
You know, I think it's important to trust your body and to do what you feel is the best for you, for your health at first. And skipping some of the tournaments was part of the plan because the scheduling is incredibly tight and tough, and that's why I feel like you see more and more players are getting injured, and it's really tough on the body to handle. And I think at first place you always should put your health, and that was our main priority. And also, you know, to play your best tennis, you always need to be mentally and physically in a way fresh, you know, just so you can bring your best tennis and you can bring the show, and people can enjoy watching you play, not like they come and they see you struggle and you suffering on court, you know. So I think you always have to put your health at first place, and that's what we did this season, and I think that was probably the smartest move we've ever done.
I think I know the answer to this, because after Miami, Madrid, you told us you're going to celebrate with tequila, you are going to switch off. I feel like...
It's so funny. Anywhere I go right now, people brings me tequila and gummy bears. I'm like, I'm not drinking right now.
But that's amazing for the off-season, okay?
I hope
got a
people
stash
gonna
of
exactly.
tequila and gummy bears.
Yeah, I hope people gonna keep doing that. Because the moment I came to Mykonos, every place I would go, which surprised me, to be honest, they would bring me tequila and the gummy bears. Or one place, like, I'm sorry, we don't have gummy bears, but we have tequila. I'm like, okay.
This is amazing, but it might affect the rest of my season.
Yeah,
if
so
I
I'm
drink
like, you have to balance that as well.
But it does, it comes across that you do switch off. You're able to get away, just have that time, and then you come back stronger.
That's the best way to do it, you know? Like before, like at the beginning of my career, I was struggling to just have fun because I felt guilty. I felt like you always have to be focused and you always have to think about tennis. Yeah, when you grow up and when you just like building yourself and building that base for yourself, yeah, you have to, this is like your 100% priority and 100% focus. But when you reach a certain level, like the pressure is insane, and you have to balance it, and it's very important to allow yourself to have fun, allow yourself to go out, like not drinking, like, you know, like every time, but like just to go out and to enjoy your off tennis life. It's off court life. I think it was the game changer for me when the moment I found that balance and the moment I figured what is the best things for me to do during the tournament, I became more consistent on court.
Now, we wish you the best of luck, and I promise it's going to be very hard to find tequila here, but if you do achieve your goal, we'll have some gummy bears waiting for you at the end.
I prefer gummy bears.
There we go.
Like right now, like before. Then I will go to my off season. I know that I'm going to have a couple of tequila shots, so I better start slower.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Iga, it's lovely to see you here back in
Thank
Rio.
you.
How have preparations been ahead of the finals?
Pretty solid. I think I was one of the first players that got here, so I'm happy that I had, you know, a couple of days to practice because the conditions are, you know, totally different than on any other tournament with the altitude. So yeah, it's pretty funny, but I'm just excited to start my first match tomorrow.
And it's a very different event because I know you did a coaching clinic with Judy Murray and some local children, and then there was the photo shoot. I'm not sure if you enjoy that or not, but there's a lot of other things going on.
Yeah, I mean, on WTA Finals every day there's something to do, so many obligations, but most of them are fun. I'm actually super happy that I did this clinic because, I don't know, just being with kids and seeing how happy they are and how focused they are on their task, you know, it's a totally different vibe than how we are right now on court and, you know, competing all the time, but forgetting about the fun part of it, you know. So it gave me a little bit of perspective. And the photo shoot, honestly, I always love it. Maybe besides the fact that I'm all sweaty in my nice dress and I should keep it under control. No, I like, you know, getting dressed up sometimes and putting full makeup on. It's special, and it's a moment where you know that you worked hard to be there, and other players as well, so we should all be proud of ourselves.
Yeah, that's so important, and I think also people get to see a different side of you. They get to see you out of the tennis clothes and just doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, I try to I'm a pretty calm person, so I don't have like much opportunities to do that. But obviously, event like that, it's a great way to show the other side of you, and I honestly really like that. I also feel, you know, pretty and dressed well, so it also makes...
It's nice to dress up sometimes.
Yeah,
isn't
exactly. It gives you some kind of a boost sometimes.
Now, because you spent a lot of time playing tennis, you played the most matches on the WTA Tour this year with 76, got 61 wins.
Who's the second one, actually?
Rybakina now.
How many?
73, possibly.
Oh, okay.
And then Sabalenka, you're testing me now. Sabalenka, I think, is about 71.
Okay.
So Rybakina, with this late surge, has just sort of gone ahead of Sabalenka.
Yeah.
So my question to you is kind of threefold. How do you stay energized, motivated, and healthy with that amount of matches?
Well, motivated and healthy is pretty easy because healthy, I just kind of rely on my physio and conditioning coach. He's pretty smart. Like, I played this season without any injuries, so...
It's incredible.
Yeah, like, shout out to him because I wouldn't be able to do that without him and my team overall and their planning, you know, the way they plan everything. Motivated, honestly, I just don't like losing. Every time I lose and every time I feel unmotivated, I come back home and I'm like, well, I need to get back to work, and I'm happy to do that, and I'm really happy to like focus on the process, not only at the results, you know, that are not always sure, you know. So motivation is not a problem. And what was the first one? Energy?
Energized.
Well, that might be tricky after 11 months on tour. I think there are like parts of season that some people like, some people don't, but if you get to this place that you don't like, it might be a bit tricky, and you don't know how to spend your free time and get the energy from that. So, but most of the places I go to on tour, I really like, and I already know. So I feel a bit like home, and it's easy to get energy then, I guess.
Titles, Wimbledon, Cincinnati, and Seoul. I feel in terms of people talking about you, when you won Wimbledon, it kind of changed the conversation in terms of the ceiling that you could reach. It felt like a bit of a game changer. How significant, or how did it feel to you in terms of your career winning Wimbledon?
It's hard for me to look at it from this kind of broad perspective, because for me, I just kind of focus on one season maximum, Usually I split the season even in parts, and winning Wimbledon was just surreal and amazing and a dream come true. But how it's going to change my next seasons, I can't really answer that. I don't think I'm that experienced, But for sure I know that with good amount of work and intensity and good mindset, and belief, I can kind of do everything. It's hard to always bring all of them together, like for 20 tournaments per year. But if I did it on Wimbledon, I think I can do it in any place, and I should maybe always remember that and just try.
Iga, we really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you in action this week. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Coco, it's lovely to see you back here in Riyadh. You come back as the defending champion. Does that in some ways feel a little bit different coming back as defending champion?
No, just because I feel like, well, I know it's been a long time since anyone defended, so it's like, okay, I hope I'm that person, but if not, whatever. But also I think it's just when you're playing this tournament, your expectations, for me at least personally, are not so high, just because you're playing the top 8 in the world.
Well, that's really interesting. So they're different in terms of because of that caliber of player.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I've played my first couple WTA finals and I didn't do so well, so I just know that it's going to be tough, and I don't expect it to be any easier just because I won last year.
And it's a very different event though, because it's not just about the tennis. As you've probably navigated the world doing interviews before you've come to us, and there's a lot of other things, and we had the photo shoot as well, so a lot more goes into it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a lot more time commitment than most tournaments that we're typically playing, but definitely I think now in year 4 I was mentally prepared on what to expect.
Now, I need to talk to you about Asia, because you enjoy playing in Asia. You won Wuhan this year, but no player on the WTA Tour in the last 3 years has won more matches than you in Asia. What is it about that part of the world? What is it about that swing or time of the year for you?
Yeah, I think for me the main thing is just it's post Grand Slam season, so I feel like the stress is just all the way at the lowest at the floor. And I would love to have that mindset everywhere, but not always. You can, fake it till you make it. But there I don't have to fake anything, so it's just real in there. I think that's the main thing. And obviously the fan support, they give you a lot of gifts. You feel really welcomed. So I think it's one of those events that you just, feel really relaxed in. And, the fans, well, not too relaxed where you're just going through the motions, because the fans keep you engaged.
Well, the gift game is strong. I mean, every time I see a clip, there's another gift coming your way.
Yeah.
But that's really nice, because it shows how much they care about you guys, and it shows how much they care about the sports.
Yeah, definitely. I think they definitely have the best fans in the world, and it's nice to have people appreciate, your sport and you, but especially being a woman and female sports, and I don't know, a part of the world that I feel like feels so far from me being American. So it's cool to see that global support.
We talk a lot about mentality and how tough you are. There was a lot of talk ahead of the US Open. People said very brave. There's been changes in the team. It's playing out with everyone watching. How do you feel things have changed since the US Open? I'm not necessarily talking about the serve. I'm just talking about you in general in your game.
Yeah, I think, obviously a lot less. Well, I don't know. It feels like a lot less eyes now. I think US Open is like the prime of prime time. So yeah, it was a very tough, because I'm used to attention, but I don't know if it was more, but it felt like a lot more.
Did it feel more?
Yeah, it felt like a lot more in that moment. So once it was all over, I think it was honestly a great learning experience for me. I definitely don't regret my decision or anything. I would do it again 1,000 times. But I think for me, it just made me a better player and a better person on and off the court. Just having to learn how to navigate all of that. And being on tour, there's sometimes you think you got the hang of it, but there's always new territory to be faced. And I think that was a new thing. And I'm sure it's not going to be the first time or last time in my career where there's maybe some attention, maybe not necessarily with me on the game, but maybe something can happen in my personal life. I don't know, that there will be more attention.
And it doesn't feel like there's a lot of time if you want to work on something in your game. Because of the schedule, there's not a lot of time for you to do it away from the match court.
Yeah. I think tennis is one of those rare sports too that we don't really have closed practices. We're always practicing, and I think that was a tough thing, just having to work on emotion and all the cameras when I would walk on court were turned to me. Everybody was trying to see everything. So it was a cool experience. I mean, it was not in the moment, but now looking back, it was funny and I can laugh at it.
Well, I imagine it's about learning from that. So a year on everything you've been through, you just keep learning and growing from everything you go. You seem to be able to turn it into a positive.
Yeah, definitely. I try to. Maybe not always in the moment, but later on I can look back and try to find everything. I mean, there's always positives in almost every situation in life. Not everything, though.
So you're ready to get started. Everything's done now. The commitments are done. You are ready to get out on the court as defending champion.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be back on this court and play in front of this crowd, and I hope that I can have another successful WTA Finals.
We are looking forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for your time and good luck.
Thank you. Thanks.